Oh, welcome back to the Comic Book Bullets. There's New Bullet. I'm your host, Leroy, aka Flesh. With my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Dickalicious Grayson.
Okay, that is his porn name. We're gonna go with that. Yeah, my reference. If you're an old motherfucker to catch that reference, so yeah, I'm gonna just put that out there right there. Yeah. So like I said, we're back in the episode. We're just gonna jump into it because we actually got a lot of show. I don't have a lot of show, but we're gonna just fly through what we have. So just want to say, happy Father's Day. Well, happy belated Father's Day to Eli. 'Cause technically, it's over already. So yeah, and happy belated Father's Day to these guys also. This wouldn't be where we are without you. So there you go. Yeah, that being said, we got to move on to our due diligence because, like I said, we got a lot of show, but we're gonna already. Damn, were you waiting in the lobby? DeAndre, what's going on with you, DeAndre? Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they must have been waiting in the lobby, just waiting for us to get this thing started. So we're just gonna jump into it. Like I said, we got a lot of show, and something happened this week that we have to talk about, Eli. Like I said, we're a comic book podcast.
Yeah.
Technically, quotations, comic book podcast. As Goldman like to put it, quotations. They do a lot of shit, but we do that also. So we do have to. Oh, got another one.
Oh, Jake's in the house.
There you go, Jake. Where you been at? All right. So yeah, so we want to say, give our due diligence. We want to say, rest in peace to John Romita Sr. Now, I have to put senior on there because, like I said, if you listen to this podcast in time, we bring up John Romita Jr. a lot, and we give John Romita Jr. a lot of shit. So
you do. You give him less.
Is it one-sided? Now that I think about it, now I see like I am the villain the whole time. Okay, yes, I give John Romita Jr. a lot of shit on this podcast, like I said, but we do have to talk about his dad. We got to talk about his dad, John Romita Sr., because John Romita Sr. is a legend, and John Romita Jr. is a legend also. I talk shit, but he is. But John Romita Sr. is a legend. We got to talk about him because, like I said, he is a titan in there. A lot of people think that Stan Lee created the Marvel Universe with a 12-inch ruler in his mom's basement, and he just cranked out character after character by himself, nobody else. That is the furthest thing from the truth. I know there's a documentary on Disney Plus about Stan Lee. I haven't seen it. I know Jack Kirby's grandson said everything on this bullshit. I haven't seen it. I'm not going to talk about it.
I haven't watched it yet either.
I haven't watched it either. I'm curious to watch it.
I did see what his grandson said. The Kirby's grandson said too. I was like,
we're not going to talk about that, but we may address that Stan Lee thing after we see it because I don't want to talk out of context. So
yeah.
But back to
John Romita Sr.
Back to John Romita Sr. Like I said, John Romita Sr. Titan in the game. Pretty much was down with Marvel from the ground up. Like I said, he made his name through all kinds of Captain America, Daredevil. He created Kingpin. He created a lot of people. We're gonna talk
Wolverine,
about that.
Co-created Wolverine, co-created the Punisher.
Did he co-create Wolverine the Punisher? Because I keep
first
seeing that, but how? Because I don't
he was
see
the first one to draw. I think he was the first one to draw.
Because I saw somebody else draw them, but I don't know. Maybe if he did, cool. People they give him credit for it. We're not gonna go there. I'm gonna give credit for some other stuff though.
Yeah, so. Punisher. I guess he was the first one to draw Mary Jane.
He created Mary Jane. Well, he didn't create. He kind of created Mary Jane, but didn't create Mary Jane. We're gonna talk about Mary Jane in a second. First off, we're gonna talk about Spider-Man because Spider-Man was the big run that he had going on. Like I said, he came from after the Steve Ditko run with Spider-Man, which was a legendary classic run. Is all. Like I said, we gave Steve Ditko his flowers also. But like I said, he got into it with Stan Lee, another artist that got into it with Stan Lee back then. Said, "Fuck this book, I'm out." And plus, Steve Ditko was on like some The Question Peacemaker type shit anyway. So Spider-Man, I'm make it, but I got other shit to do. So you brought in another artist, who's gonna take over this art? Because this is our best-selling book. Who's gonna take it over? That's when you had John Romita Sr. And John Romita Sr. was a class because he gave us all these, but what you know about Spider-Man from the 60s is John Romita Sr. That pose, that pose is from John Romita Sr. Yeah. That pose is all these covers from John Romita Sr. It gave it that 60s swing to it where Steve Ditko was all about objectionism and stuff like that. He tried to put Steve Ditko political as fuck back then. So if you read his Spider-Man books, it's there. Where John Romita Jr. had that style, that jazz. Stan Lee named him Jazzy John Romita. That's what he called him back then.
Well, the definitive versions of characters,
and all the poses. The poses, the Hulk, yeah.
Yeah.
Captain America.
His
back
version
then.
of the Hulk was like kind of the Hulk that stuck throughout the 70s and 80s. His version of him, that square face, and
Yeah, and people would take that and they pretty much just built off his design. But all those crazy poses, Spider-Man, it came from him.
Mhm.
What do I have here? Black Widow. Now he didn't create Black Widow, but he redesigned Black Widow's costume. Because when Black Widow first came out, she basically was like had webs on her costume and shit like that. Kind of looked like a fake ass Spider Woman or some shit like that. But John Romita was the one like, let's turn into like a sexy spy assassin, like basically Emma Peel from the Avengers.
Yeah.
Just do that. Just make her Emma Peel. So
Yeah.
I give him credit for turning her into Emma Peel. That's cool. And like I said, we got to talk about Mary Jane. Like I said, he created Mary Jane Watson. Now the thing is, Mary Jane Watson actually was mentioned in the comics a bunch of times, like before he got there, but we never saw what Mary Jane looked like. It was just Peter. Basically, Aunt May was like, "I'm trying to hook you up with my best friend's, niece or some shit like that. Why don't you just meet her?" Peter like, "Nah, I ain't got time. I got Spider-Man shit to do. I ain't got time for that." And then when he finally opened the door, he was like, "Damn, okay, that's the reaction they want you to get." Because the thing was, Stan Lee wanted John. He told John Romita, "I want you to draw Mary Jane as the sexiest chick you can possibly think of." And John Romita was like, "I got it." So he drew the sexiest chick he could think of, and it was Anne Margaret. So,
really? I thought it was gonna be
Margaret,
Ginger from
Ginger from you know what?
Gilligan's Island.
She was a bad motherfucker too. Yeah, I guess he was thinking of either one on his brain, but yeah. But Anne Margaret, like she was in a basically sexy dance back then and shit like that. But yeah, that's who John Romita was thinking of. Well, I'm gonna just draw the sexy chick I can think of, and so Mary Jane Watson is based off Anne Margaret. If anybody has it, like I said, it's plenty of history we can go down the road. Monica Rambeau is based off Pam Grier. We can, and that's from John Romita Jr. So he was thinking of that shit too. So what else we got here? Another classic iconic. I think this is one right here. I missed it. I fucked up. Doesn't matter. I was gonna do this thing where that pose, that's a classic pose right there.
Classic.
Yeah. And that's been homaged plenty of times in the comics also. Like I said, that's
movies.
From the movies. Like I said, that's
Spider-Man
a Spider-Man 2. Yeah, it was in Spider-Man 2. This from the Spider-Man No More arc. And there it is, right there. So, like I said, John Romita drew it, and like I said, it was homage. And it's actually been homage like plenty of times, But it was like the most famous one was in the movies. But like I said, that's just some of the stuff John Romita Jr. did. Like I said, he had so many iconic runs. Spider-Man's kind of like where he cut his teeth on, but like I said, he made Spider-Man the most iconic comic book character ever, probably. I mean, as far as like popularity, I mean, you can argue who's more popular than Spider-Man, and John Romita Jr. kind of put his foot on that,
Yeah.
Not your favorite, just popular,
Yeah.
So yeah, want to say, rest in peace to John Romita Sr. Yeah.
Yes. Good journey, sir.
All right. So, like I said, we're gonna move to the next part of the podcast. Next part of the podcast is a doozy, because we're gonna bring back an old classic. Because I'm kidding, but I'm gonna put a twist on the class this time, Eli. So I'm gonna throw you curveballs, so you think you know where I'm going, but you don't know where I'm going. All right, so give it to me. What is the number one movie of the week?
Was it Flash Reborn, or Flash
Paradox, or some shit?
Rebirth?
Right. So yeah, Flash was the number one topic, but barely. Here's Flash. Like I said, it's barely was number one. It did 55 million at the box office, which, like I said, is a superhero movie. So anything less than 100 million, we poo-pooing that shit, But here's the twist, Eli. Here's the twist. Like I said, with the box office you're seeing, I want you to go over and under with me real quick. Did it do better than Morbius?
Oh, wow.
Over or under? I'm not going to tell you what Morbius did because that would be cheating.
I'll go over. I'll say over. It did over.
It went over. It went over. Okay. So Flash beat Morbius. That's a good thing. It didn't beat anybody else. But okay, did it go over or under Black Adam? That's like,
damn. I'm gonna say over, just because it had Batman in it, so it had to have been.
Under.
No shit.
Yes, it was under Black Adam. That's what people look like. What the fuck? You know, so they did all this, spend all this money, have all these actors, and they did all this shit to it, and they fired Dwayne Johnson because they couldn't do that, and they can't even beat The Rock at this shit. So they might well just keep The Rock if they were gonna do this shit. So yeah, that's what's going on with the movie like that. Eli, I don't know.
He should be the new Flash.
It should be. I mean, if you're gonna beat the Flash anyway, they're gonna fire him for that anyway. So yeah. See, Eli, I don't know if you heard any internet buzz, but like, have you heard any internet buzz about this movie like lately?
It sounds pretty divisive. I've heard people say they love it. I heard people say it sucks.
Well, Stephen King said it's great. He said it's the best superhero movie of all time. Tom Cruise said best superhero movie of all time. And then people are like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That sounds fishy, you know.
Yeah, I did not see it. Yeah, I didn't see it yet, but
yeah, it's cool. I was just curious to see what you heard anything about that, because it's funny. The memes are already popping out. The memes are already going crazy. That Dragon Ball Z meme where he looked with Vegeta, let's fight somewhere empty. You know, when it's in a Flash theater. You know, because nobody's there. You know. And like I said, you got a bunch of people, and Rotten Tomatoes was at like 95% at one point. Audience score, pay no attention to that bullshit, because like I said, it's review bombing. Review bombing works both ways. Just like they review bomb Little Mermaid with whatever they did with that, they review bomb Flash with 95%, because like I said, you can do it both ways, and it works that way. So that being said, let's jump into it. I'm gonna give my review. I saw it. I did see it. I went to the movie and saw it. I'm gonna give my honest, fair, biased review of it. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what Cliff said. Cliff already gave it 3.5 out of 5. So
Cliff?
Yeah, Cliff. So like I said, I know you respect Cliff's, reviews on this more than I do, because you already know I'm gonna overrate this shit anyway. 6.5 out of 5. Best superhero movie since the last one I saw, which was 2 weeks ago. But no, like I said, I'm gonna just give it an honest review of it based on what I thought about this movie. I'm gonna just go in guns blazing to tell me what I thought about this movie. Okay. Oh, I gotta set the. You always let me go, and I never set the mood.
Oh,
I just go to it. It's just always just old motherfuckers in the background when I'm just talking about this shit. I ain't talking about John.
I guess I can't. You know what? I got you.
It's done now. I've already done. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought about that, because I always do that. I'll be like 40 minutes into this shit.
Or do we want?
Yeah, no. The one you just did. Go back to the one you just did.
Oh man, where'd that go? Okay.
You didn't delete it, did you? Well, not that one. That's the one I just did.
No,
here we go.
No, I clicked on, it was black.
That one. We're gonna go with that one. Okay, let's go to it. All right, that's what we got. All right, so review time. Going into it, this is what I think about the movie. So, like I said, going into the movie, one of the reasons I think this movie is divisive, not because of the obvious. I'm just talking about the movie. I'll talk about the other bullshit around it later on. I'm talking about the movie. One of the reasons this movie is divisive, in my opinion, is because the best thing about this movie is that it's one of the most comic book movies of all time. And one of the worst things about this movie is that it's one of the comic book movies of all time. This is not the Christopher Nolanized, grounded reality version of Flash. This ain't that. No, this is fucking Flash, silly shit, comic book. They don't explain it. Go to it. They barely explain it. If you don't know what the Speed Force is, you're fucked. I'm sorry. You don't. Action nerd friend. Because the movie mentions it, but they will not explain it at all. And I guess I got to talk about now. Going into the now, I'm going to talk about the characters in this movie. I just want to say this. Please do not get up my ass about these pronouns. I'm sorry. If I fuck up, I fuck up. It's live. I'm going to just do the best I can. But if I screw up, it's okay. Like I said, Ezra Miller refers to themselves as they.
We are still learning. We are
still learning. But I do want to say this. Okay, he's they. They're they. But they are playing a he. Barry Allen is a he. So if I say he, I'm referring to Barry Allen. So that's where I'm going with that. So
disclaimer.
So don't be like, he didn't cancel this motherfucker. Eli's okay, cancel this motherfucker.
Misgendering or blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Cis male, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Anyway, going into it. Ezra Miller's performance. I think it was good. I think it was really good, because he's not playing they. And actually, is actually preferable here, because Ezra Miller's playing multiple people. So technically it is they. And so it's like they're playing multiple people, Ezra Miller, and he plays distinctive people. Like I said, Barry Allen, he's playing two different people. He's playing like one Barry Allen, other Barry Allen, and they're two different personalities. They act completely different when they're on screen before they even says anything or does anything. You know which Barry Allen it is. I'm like, okay, you got to give him some credit on, man. That's pretty impressive. You know, he's playing two different people, interacting with themselves, talking to each other. Even when they're talking to other people, you know which Barry Allen. Basically, the other Barry Allen he's talking to is like the 10-year younger version of him that grew up with his mom. So you can see different, and it explains the story of it also. You're getting one person that grew up with his mom, one person didn't grow up with his mom, and then you can see how that changed him. So I got to give the guy credit on that. Not Oscar with performance. Like people saying that you can't make this movie without Ezra Miller. Yeah, that's bullshit. I can imagine like 100 other people you can get to do this shit. Hell, I could have had a grab, but I'm just saying Grant Gustin. I'm just saying, you know,
they should have did it in the first place.
You could have did it, you know what I'm saying? But no, is this some RDJ level acting? No. Chadwick Boseman acting? No. Hugh Jackman acting? No.
The Rock.
The Rock, you know, he's better than The Rock. I give credit to The Rock. I'm not going to shit on that bad, but I'm just saying, I'm going to give the guy credit on that because he did have some heartfelt moments, especially towards the end where it started getting a little bit more serious. That's the thing I got to talk about the tone of this movie, because the tone of this movie is kind of all over the place. Like 1 minute it's like really slapstick comedy. It tries to go all superhero shit, and then the movie feels like it just snaps its finger. They're like, oh, we're serious now. Let's get serious. Like, oh, okay, we're serious now. The stakes are so high, you know, the multiverse is at stake, and it all gets all serious and shit like that, you know. And he has some good moments with his mom also, so I got to give him some respect on that. Other characters in the movie, like I said, where can we go with that? Other characters in the movie, like I said, you didn't come to see Flash. Flash is no on the poster. Flash no in the commercials. You don't want to see Flash. You want to see Batman. That's what you want to see. And look, you can argue over who's your favorite Batman. I like this Batman, I like that Batman. But when Michael Keaton is on the screen, regardless of your favorite Batman, you're going to have second thoughts. You'll be like, is he the best? He might be the best. Because he whoops ass in this movie. I'm sorry. He just beats ass all through this movie, man. He is fucking awesome.
Well, the best Batmobile was just on the screen.
The best Batmobile was on the screen. He doesn't ride the Batmobile. The Batmobile is shown, but he doesn't ride it in this movie. I mean, he really can't because they're flying all over the place like that. But it was one scene that Michael Keaton does in this movie. It had nothing to do with fighting, nothing to do with talking, nothing to do with talking to Flash, when he is like after the mission and they completed the mission and he's just in the bathroom and he takes off the suit, bleeding everywhere. Blood is coming out of the bat suit. He's stitching himself up because he got cut because of the mission. And he just looks in the mirror and looks at himself and he starts laughing. I'm like, oh shit. That's Batman. That's Batman fucker right there. Because he hadn't been Batman in like 30, 40 years with him like that. And now when Flash kind of like talking him back into being Batman, he like, hell yeah, the pain, the blood, I love this shit. Give me this shit. I'm like, he might be the best Batman. I'm sorry. He might be the GOAT. He might be the GOAT. The only reason I don't say he the GOAT, because Ben Affleck is in this movie also. And Ben Affleck is also beating ass in this movie. I'm just like, damn, they're giving you so much Batman in this movie. But the thing is, neither one of them are in the movie that much. They're like they're basically peppered out throughout the movie. Because one thing I was worried about, like, there's so many Batman, is this a Flash movie? It's a Flash movie. It's about Flash. It's about Barry Allen. It's about him having a character arc. And both of the Batmen are just mentors. That's all they are in this movie. They're his Obi-Wans. They save his ass. They teach him what he needs to do and stuff like that. And I also like how they had the two Barrys in the movie because, like I said, I'm going into like film theory and stuff like that. That's why people's like, I just want action. I get it. I understand that. The thing is that I understand why they had another Barry in there, because there's a whole point in the movie where Art Barry loses his powers and the new Barry gets powers. So the old Barry has to train the new Barry in the power. So you're actually going through the journey because first off, we can't go through how did Flash know how to do all this stuff. Well, when you teach the new Barry, the audience learns, okay, so this is how he learns how to do that. This is how he learns how to do that. This is power right here. And you're going through the arc that way. I like it. So that was cool on there. Also, who else was in this movie? Oh, yeah. Supergirl. I love fucking Supergirl. That's one of the crimes of this movie, that she wasn't in enough. Like, she should have been in the movie enough, but I understand it wasn't her movie, so they can't do as much as they want to. But I love her. She might be my favorite live action Supergirl. Like, out of everybody. Now, the reason I like her versus the other ones is because they finally get it that Supergirl is different from Superman. She's not just Superman in a dress, or Superman with a blonde wig, or Superman with boobs, or like that. No, she's her own character. The thing is, Superman, Kal-El grew up on planet Earth, so he has a connection to humanity. Supergirl does not. She didn't grow up on Earth. She doesn't have that connection. She still remembers Krypton. That's her home. Earth is just someplace she's just there. She doesn't care about humanity like Clark does. So it makes sense how they're different people. And the movie, drives that home. And I'm like, finally, y'all got Supergirl right in these movies. So yeah, like I said, that's what else can I talk about this movie? Those are the good things about it. Like I said, tones kind of all over the place, but it kind of narrowed down for me. The comedy is up and down. Oh, I forgot to get a link on it, but that's cool. There's one joke, I got to spoil one joke for you, where the reason Barry realized he fucked up the timeline because somebody says that Back to the Future starred, what's that dude's name?
What's up?
That not Michael J. Fox. Shit, I've been saying this guy's name all week, and I'm drawing a blank.
Who? The Doc Brown?
No, not Doc Brown. I can't believe I'm having a brain fart right now. No. Okay, who's the guy that played Mask? Eric Stoltz. Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz. Oh,
Eric Stoltz. Yeah. That's the joke. Okay, that's the joke. So he realized he fucked up the timeline because somebody said, "You mean Back to the Future?" Yeah, it's like Back to the Future. Back to the Future. You mean with Eric Stoltz? You're like Eric Stoltz. No, Michael J. Fox. So it's a deep cut joke. It's a deep cut joke. You got to be an old motherfucker to even get that joke.
It's a dad joke.
It's a dad joke. Wonder Woman is in this movie. Wonder Woman is awesome. It's a cameo, but it's awesome. She's in it. They have a funny joke that they do. The Eric Stoltz joke, for people that didn't get the Eric Stoltz joke, the thing is that Eric Stoltz actually cast as Marty McFly in Back to the Future first. He was in the role. He got the role. They even filmed it. It's not a rumor. They have footage with him in the role, interacting with people
for like 2 weeks.
I think like 5 weeks. It was like 4 or 5 weeks.
It was a while. They filmed him for a while, and then they fired him.
Yeah. Well, they said he didn't play the role how they want him to. They say he played the role too dark.
He was playing it like a serious tragedy. He wasn't funny. Yeah.
Right. They were like, you're too heavy, man. You need to back off of it. But the thing was, I think they wanted Michael J. Fox anyway, but they didn't know if they can get him out of his Family Ties contract. But when he finally was able to get out of Family Ties, they're like, get him out of here.
They said, Michael J. Fox filmed like Family Ties during the day, and then at night he'd go film Back to the Future.
Right, he did. Yeah, he filmed them both at the same time to make the movie work. So yeah. So when they did that, I was like, that's a clever ass joke, man. I gotta give you credit on that joke, because just the fact that that's how he knew he fucked up the timeline. Because Eric, and then they
were you the only one in the theater laughing?
I might have been. I think I was the only person in the theater laughing. I'm like just by myself. I don't give a fuck. It's funny, man.
Elbow Eric Stoltz.
Right, Eric Stoltz. Who the fuck is Eric Stoltz? And then they made a joke. Yeah, Eric Stoltz. Yeah, he played in all the Back to the Future movies. I'm like, he really. That's how he know I really fucked up the timeline when I did this shit. So yeah, so I like, you give me that deep cut joke, man. And it was a few other like clever jokes in there. The movie was kind of funny. Now, not every joke landed. It wasn't Deadpool. Some of the jokes I was like, okay, y'all trying a little bit too hard. Like I said, Barry Allen doesn't always land the jokes. Like I said, Ezra Miller's whole performance on Barry Allen, I'm still trying to come to terms with. Because he's basically playing like a kid hopped up on candy, and it's cool in doses of Justice League and doses of whatever else he was in. We just got 200% of the movie playing two people hopped up on candy. Like I said, I know that's not going to just vibe with everybody. Some people are going to be on with it. Some people are not going to be on with it. But that's what he's doing the entire movie. That's his arc. That's his character. I kind of get it, because you kind of feel like he's impatient with people when they're talking. So I kind of get that feeling of it. So that's cool. Trying to think what else happened in this movie. Oh, this movie is canonical to the Snyder Cut. That's why I give it more credit. So it ignores the Justice League version and goes right to the Snyder Cut. For instance, it references two things in this movie that only happen in the Snyder Cut version of Justice League, not Justice League. First off, when he entered the Speed Force. Oh, by the way, Zack Snyder won an Oscar on that scene.
Oh yeah.
It was a fan-made Oscar, but it's still an Oscar nonetheless. Basically that's how Barry gets the idea to enter Speed Force, because basically, for those that didn't watch the Snyder version of Justice League, in that version, like in the Justice League, the Joss Whedon version, Superman just came in, beat everybody's ass, and they won. That's it. In the Snyder version, that didn't happen. When Superman came in, he came in too late. and the mother box blew up the world. So Barry had to enter the Speed Force in reverse time 5 seconds into the past to give himself enough time to reach Cyborg to stop from blowing up the world. So that's what happened in the Snyderverse version. And so they referenced that in there. And also they referenced when he saved Iris West, which was completely cut out of the Joss Whedon version. Funny how all the black people got cut out in the Joss Whedon version. But
was the hot dog there though? Did he have the hot dog?
Like, did he wave it in her face, like put it in her mouth? Wait, he didn't put it in her mouth. Did he? Oh, we were
No, that's what I was thinking. He's going
to think, okay, for some reason in my head, I'm like, oh no, not the same when he put the hot dog in the mouth. Like, oh,
I remember what, because remember I was like live, I was watching it and live posting while I was watching the Snyder Cut, and I said I can't wait for the memes where Barry puts the hot dog in Iris's mouth, and then like a couple days later, someone photoshopped it.
So no, but he doesn't mention the hot dog, but he just mentioned when when she saved him, or he saved her. So yeah, doesn't happen with that one. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Like I said, everybody's bashing the movie. What I think about the what? Okay, so there's another reason people are bashing the movie. I'm about to go into heavy spoilers right now. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. It's spoilers. Okay. End of the movie. Basically, the multiverse is collapsing on each other. So the multiverse that they're seeing all these worlds, and all these worlds are like Nick Cage, Superman, and they see Christopher Reeves and Supergirl in the background. So they reanimate, like they CGI Christopher Reeves basically in this movie. They CGI Christopher Reeves. They CGI Adam West. They CGI George Reeves. They CGI George Reeves also, like the Superman before Christopher Reeves. Mm-hmm. And people are upset about that. They're saying, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't reanimate corpses like that. They're dead. You can't do that, stuff like that." And this why I realized that people are just finding shit to nitpick about this movie. They just get on one thing and they just blow that up because they need something to be mad about this movie about. Yeah. Because you're getting mad about them doing that, but or do you get mad at when they make toys in Christopher Reeve's likeness? Do you say anything about that? Do you say anything when that's the wrong thing? What I fuck up. Anyway, do you get mad when they draw Superman like Christopher Reeves in the Superman comics? Let's just say what makes that different from that than this. It's like people are finding things to bitch about. And that's what I realized. That's what I realized that I do think that one of the reasons like the movie is doing as bad as it is because of Ezra Miller. I didn't think Ezra Miller was going to affect it as bad as it did, but it did. People know. It's been talking. It's all over TikTok. They getting like 4 million views about the dumb shit that they have been doing. I'm gonna give them credit, stuff like that. So overall, people don't want to support that because of that. And if you don't want to support that because of Ezra Miller, I completely understand. He's a piece of shit person. Let's not beat around the bush about that. I mean, all the shit that y'all give Brie Larson, who didn't do anything to anybody, and Killian Tran, who didn't do anything to anybody, give that energy to Ezra Miller. He deserves that shit.
Joss Whedon happened to Joss Whedon. Like what the fuck,
right? So like, give that energy to the people that deserve that shit. So anybody that don't want to see the Flash because he's a piece, because Ezra Miller's a piece of shit person, perfectly fine. I got a problem with that. Me personally, I can separate the art from the artist. I can listen to R. Kelly. I can listen to Michael Jackson. I listen to Kanye on the way to work this morning. I have no problem listening to problematic artists. So I can watch the Flash separate. Okay, this isn't Ezra Miller. This is Barry Allen. I can do that. And plus, why are you going to get mad at that when you're going to miss out on performances on all the Batman? You're going to miss performances on Supergirl. You're going to miss Wonder Woman. You're missing out on good performances because of one piece of shit person. That shouldn't be fair for everybody else in the movie. And
all the overworked and underpaid CGI artists who.
Thank you. That's why this movie sucked. The CGI. Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you, Eli. You're a contributor to this review, though you hadn't seen it. Yes, the CGI is doo-doo dog water. I got to admit that. It looked like fucking rubber. And I'm like, how is this shit so bad? And it's been in like development hell for like 5 years. Like, why does CGI look like this? But yeah.
Because it was in development.
Because it was development hell. Yeah, I give them that. But the thing is it the worst CGI I've seen in recent memory? No, but that says more about the CGI of comic book movies than the Flash. That just means that, like, I'm looking at this versus Quantum Mania. Quantum Mania was fucking dog shit CGI, but that shit wouldn't even finish. They said they didn't finish that shit. They were like, we sent all the people to Wakanda forever. We didn't even fuck about that movie. So we can tell, So Flash looked pretty bad too, but you know what? I could go with it. It didn't fuck me up. I was like, that looks bad in certain places, but I can deal with it. I'm cool. So yeah. So That's it. I think I said everything I need to say about the Flash. I'm not gonna say anything else about the Flash. I will say this: like I said, Tom Cruise and Stephen King said this is the greatest comic book movie of all time. In my opinion, it's not even the best comic book movie this month. Just saying that. And that's another thing that hurt it, because this is damn near the same plot as Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse is telling the same story, but better.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's all these multiverse movies. That's like that's what all the comic book movies are doing now. We have to have multiverse, various versions of everybody's characters. That way they're trying to survive, or they're trying to satisfy everybody. By like giving everybody's favorite version.
Because that's the thing. This movie is member berries. The movie. You talking about fan service? There has never been a more fan servicey movie than this movie.
Yeah.
So I think that's one reason why the people that say it's the greatest comic movie of all time liking it, because they getting hopped up on this. Like Batman, like Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's awesome. Everything he's doing is a reference to the old Batman movies. Everything he says, everything he does, is just references to old Batman. Like, how much do you weigh? Hold on, all this shit. So I'm just like, okay, I get it, I like it, but I see what you're doing,
Yeah.
Like I said, when Christopher Reeve shows up and Adam West Batman shows up, and now the Nicolas Cage scene when he fought that giant crab, I was like, okay, that shit was pretty cool, but still, you're still doing it. You're still trying to get member berries out of it.
Yeah, because he was supposed to fight like a giant spider crab monster,
right? And they referenced that in this movie and his words like that. Yeah. I got to
That's what it seems like it is. I mean, we're just it just seems like every comic book movie is kind of doing that now. That's the trend. We're gonna the multiverse movie, and just shove all the stuff that everybody.
But they're just selling you nostalgia. That's all they're doing. Any way they can sell you nostalgia, do it, because that's all Spider-Man was. Let's get gets 5 to the 2000. Hell, that's what the Scream movies are doing. Just get back these old, not doing the multiverse, but let's just get back these old motherfuckers from the 90s. And stick it back in the movies so we can propel our new people. But that's what everybody's doing nowadays.
Yeah, well, Halloween, the new Halloween movies, that's all they did.
Halloween's doing Lee Curtis,
dig up all these old motherfuckers that no one gives a shit about and fucking throw them in here.
Jake, when you just cut to the cake, Chase. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just slap a rating on it. My rating of this movie is 4 out of 5. Just a good, strong 4 out of 5. Not stronger, not lower. It's what it is. Everybody's saying people are going in saying, people coming out of the movie saying that the movie sucks, the movie's bad. I don't know what movie you watched. This movie is not bad. This movie not suck. There's not no Green Lantern type shit or whatever other movie you want to put in there. This is nowhere near on that level. No, it's but take my opinion for a grain of salt. Like I said, I like Black Adam. I like Shazam too. Everybody said those movies suck. I like both of those. Flash.
You're a comic book fan.
I'm a comic book fan. Yeah. But so when a bad movie comes out, I will call out a bad movie. I don't just say everything's just great. Everything's 5 out of 5. But I'm just saying this movie is on that level of those movies. So like I said, if you like Black Adam or Shazam, the people that do like those movies, there's no reason why you shouldn't like The Flash. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you thought those movies sucked, then maybe your opinion of Flash would be less than that. I'm just saying. But me, I came out of the movie with a smile on my face. It had some good jokes. It was funny. It had some clever gags. All the Batman were awesome. Both Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, to me, were equally awesome. And people that see that movie are going to debate on which one they like better. Supergirl was awesome in this movie. So it had a lot of stuff in there. Ezra Miller did give a good performance in this movie. So, like I said, CGI fucked it up. Tone is kind of all over the place. It did turn to Saturday morning cartoon in some places. Ezra Miller still can't run for shit in these movies. So I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the dude. Why did he not teach him how to run? But yeah, but that's my thing. That's my thing. I think if people go to this movie and actually watch it, I don't see anybody coming out to this movie just saying, that's cool. That's all. Yeah. So, because like I said, my rating has to be higher than Cliff. It has to be. I can't go lower than Cliff. So,
well, all right. It'll be on HBO in a month, so I'll check.
Yeah, when it's like farther faster than as far as this shit is flopping. Yeah, like I said, Fast and Furious already on Apple Plus, so shit. So to get that shit out of here. All right, what do we got next? We have something else on here. You're gonna talk. I think you're gonna talk. Actually, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this.
Okay.
This.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this. Okay. So, like I said, for those who haven't been keeping up, because we've had talked about this on the podcast before, is that before today's podcast, there was a debate on CW was debating on what show they were going to keep. Were they going to keep Superman and Lois, or were they going to keep Gotham Knights? And they really didn't know which show they were going to go to. I didn't know which show they were going to go with. It was like up and down. So the show they decided to keep was, of course, Superman and Lois. They decided to keep Superman and Lois, and Gotham Knights has been canceled. That is it. So Superman and Lois is the last DC show on CW. They've gotten rid of everything else is gone. That's it. It's the last show. So you can
think it is the better show too.
It is the better show. Let's not make no points about that. It is the better show. However, the reason I was wondering whether or not it will get canceled or Gotham Knights will get canceled, because yes, Superman and Lois is the better show, but Gotham Knights is the cheaper show. That's the thing. Which show makes them more money or doesn't cost them as much money? That's the thing, because CW doesn't make any money. We know that. So you can say we won. We got the better show to win, but what did it cost? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they give another season 4. However, CW is going to CW. They are cutting the budget. They are slashing the budget. And what does that mean? All those fancy ass special effects that we saw in the earlier shows, gone. Pretty much damn near over half the cast, gone. Lana Lang, her family, gone. Steele and his family, gone. Out of there. So, and people saying, well, that was the worst part of the show. Like, I actually liked that part of the show. I understand it was
yes.
I understand it was drawn, but just the whole point of Lana Lang and her husband co-parenting, that was, to me, that was an interesting ass plot. Had shit to do with superheroing. I just thought it was an interesting ass plot.
Well, it reflected Superman's role, Superman and Lois's role as parents.
Right.
You know, that's what grounded this. Yeah. It was grounded in like humanity. You know, that's what made the show interesting for me, anyways. You're seeing,
because Superman and Lois are the perfect parents, but Lana and her, they're not, and they fuck up, and because they're parents,
Lois,
they're people.
Superman and Lois were fucking up too. Like, no, they're like they make mistakes, and you know, Jordan and John are out misbehaving and getting into shit as well. It's just, but it was interesting to see that. Interesting to see this super godlike being have human problems and deal with humanity, and that's what made it for me. And I was into all the human drama. That's what was interesting to me, you know.
Right. So
now they're getting rid of all these characters. However, do, you know, I was getting sick of what's her name? The chick, is it Jordan?
The girl.
Yeah.
It's almost like the show wanted you to hate her.
Yeah,
because she kept doing shit to just irritate you. I'm like, why are they writing her so terrible?
Well, it's not even her too. It's like him. Like I was getting sick of Jordan just being mopey all the time. I was like,
mopey, dude, Jordan was.
That was getting old for me. So, you know, I was like, dude, there's other chicks or whatever. You know, get some other chick. You got superpowers now.
You got superpowers, right? Why are you not finding after this drunk ass chick all the time? This shit.
Yeah, you know, but John Henry and his daughter, that was, I was interested in that. I was interested.
That was a good storyline, even though it was predictable. I know it was going. I still like that storyline. Yeah, we knew the boy was good. Something was up with him. So
that was this season, which I think is the best season so far.
Yeah, and him and that whole beef with him and Bruno Mannheim. I was loving that. Yeah,
and the whole cancer thing with Lois. I mean, you know, that was. It's been a hard season for me to watch. You know, I've had experience.
Right. I can imagine that can trigger some people. You
know, I mean, but it's been great. But yeah, that whole thing with Steele and all that was cool, and I was into that. You know, so I am kind of bummed that the reasons why I like this show is like getting rid of it all. You know, but usually you see that. Like when a TV show goes on for multiple seasons, you always sort of see a reset in season 3 or 4, and maybe that's what they're trying to do now. Because if like they're saying Lex Luthor is going to be the new bad guy,
they say he's like season regular.
Yeah, then maybe they're going back to Metropolis or some shit. I don't know, and then we'll see new characters. I don't know, But as far as like the shit in Smallville, I was into Lana. Well, first of all, that chick who plays Lana, goddamn, she's hot as hell. You know?
Yeah, she is.
You know, why ain't she Lois?
Right. Have you seen her like in a younger movie, like in the 2000s?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Waiting and
yeah. I like wow. Just
yeah,
honestly, just the fact I even heard she was on this show, I was like, yeah, I might need this. Might be my favorite show.
yeah.
I'm
Hey,
here
fat
in
T's
the
in the
house of
house.
spirit, y'all. Yeah, and thank you for the algorithm. Yeah. Watching the flick right now. Okay, that's cool. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, it's a good show. Just the whole storyline. And plus, you know what? I used to hate like Lana's ex-husband. I used to hate that dude at first, but he grew on me
Yeah,
after a
yeah,
while. Yeah, because it turned out okay, he's not so much of an asshole. Like, especially like when he used to like he got him a girlfriend, and when he does fucked up shit, he apologizes to her. He's not just trying to do like a one type thing to, to get back at his ex-wife. Nah, he actually like cares for her. I'm like, okay, he's not a bad guy.
yeah. Well, they first like portrayed him as this like right wing, kind of
Right. And I think the show got feedback. They're like, this ain't working. Don't
yeah.
do that with him. Yeah.
But they even then, even when they made him that way, they still fleshed him out and gave him that he wasn't just this, asshole, that he did have debt to him,
Right.
So
And he cared about his family.
and he cared about his family, which is basically why everybody, that's like the basis for everybody's politics,
Right.
but yeah, I was into all that.
You haven't seen this show?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's
Jake,
one
this
of my
show is great. Yeah, you need to watch like from the first season to like the third season is probably the best season to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the superhero shit, like this. Yeah, the effects are awesome. So that's gonna suck if like we're gonna get shitty effects now.
Yeah, because the first season, like HBO was putting money up for this show. That's why the first season, like special effects were like great, fantastic, like better than the Flash movie. So yeah, so I was just loving that. I was like, man, but yeah, you definitely need to watch this show. We don't know what season 4 is gonna do, but up to 1 through 3. It's a great show, man. It is a great show. Even if you're not a Superman fan, it's just a great show. The topics, the handling, and the action is pretty good on it too. Special effects.
I mean, I've never been a huge. Well, is it me or are we in sort of a Superman renaissance right now?
You know what? No, it's just this show. Because other than the show, there really hasn't been any Superman thing happen. It's just people won't shut the fuck up about Henry Cavill. That's all.
Yeah, I like the Superman show's cool. I'm reading like multiple Superman comics,
and they're finally good again.
Yeah, it's like I'm kind of into Superman right now,
You know what? DC was like, you know what? Maybe we should make Superman actually good.
Yeah,
maybe that's a thought. I don't know.
Yeah, we have this like the world's first superhero. We own the rights to the world's first superhero. Let's do something.
We have other people than Batman. What? Okay.
Yeah.
So it does that, but I think they're trying to we need to get back on track. How to get back on track to get Superman on track. That's because Batman is going to be Batman at all times.
Yeah.
But DC is only going to be as good as Superman carries him.
Yeah, and then Superman, like he's cool. Like he's cool in the show. Like I feel bad for him sometimes. Like him dealing with this shit, like when the kids ditched him. When he made plans to do shit with their son.
But it was like some cool shit he wanted them to do. They were like, we ain't doing this shit.
Yeah, they're like, we're sitting here playing video games. Like
is it better than Smallville? Because that show is shit. Nope, Smallville. We're not talking about. We're not. Delete that. No, we're not talking about bad about Smallville.
He's banned. No. Actually, I've only seen a handful of Smallville.
Okay, the thing about Smallville, like Smallville when it first started, was a good show. It had a good show. It had character development with Clark and his family, stuff like that. Now, towards the end, it was basically the same thing happened to Flash. Like eventually, it just ran on too long. It just got too out of control, too crazy. Still, don't know what the hell they were going to do with. They don't know what people are ready to get the fuck up out of here. That's what happened. So yeah, same thing happened to Flash. Same thing happened to Smallville. But those first couple seasons of Smallville, no, because first off, the Lex Luthor on there is the best Lex Luthor of live action. Period. I don't care what anybody say. He's the best one
of all time.
Of all time.
I hate
to let you finish.
Well, Gene Hackman. It's funny that Gene Hackman. I guess I was reading this thread on the making of Superman 2 and all that drama where they fired Richard Donner and all that shit. I guess all the actors got pissed after that. And Gene Hackman wouldn't put a bald cap on anymore, and
did not give a fuck.
Yeah, they were like, "Fuck this." So they had to They had the Frankenstein. What was his name? Lester. What's that guy's name?
Yeah,
The director.
Richard Lester was the replacement. Richard Donner did the first one. They fired him and they hired Richard Lester. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had to Frankenstein the footage together because like Gene Hackman was, didn't want to do nothing anymore, and I guess Jack O'Halloran. What's his name? Jack O'Halloran. What's the guy who played Non? The big dude.
The guy that never said anything? Yeah.
The guy, the mute guy, I guess he got into it with Christopher, like got into an actual fight with him.
Okay, I understand Christopher Reeve plays Superman on the, but you don't fuck with a guy like that, you know.
I guess he was a professional boxer too. Like
I mean, that was a big motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
That's like some people you just don't talk crazy to. That's all I'm saying, you know.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's just funny that I've never, like I said, I only watched a handful of Smallville episodes. I never really got into the Lois and Clark show, but
I didn't either. I tried to watch it, like, nah, it ain't. So
yeah,
but Smallville had some stuff in it. It had some seasons that were like, okay, this is actually pretty cool, you know. But it went on too long. So yeah.
But from the get-go, this show has had me. Like I basically watched it because I thought you would watch it and I'd help you review the first episode, and it hooked me.
Because when this first came out, this was on DC Universe.
Yeah,
like when that thing came out. Yeah,
that's right. And we're going back to the pandemic. Yeah,
we're going back to the pandemic. And the thing I like about this show is that they're not trying to like a darker version of Superman, like an edgy version of Superman. It's not that. He's just Superman.
He's just Superman.
It. Like you could recognize him as Superman.
Trying to raise his kids, trying to be a wife and a husband. Or a husband and a dad. And it's just it's a family drama. That's all it is.
It's a family drama. He's just simple. He's Superman. You know, he has the moral high ground. You know, he tries to help out his family. And the thing is, because he's so naive and because he thinks everybody else is like that, that keeps getting him in trouble with his family and with his friends and everybody else. You know, and so yeah, it's just like the fact that when Lois was like, I need to write a will just in case if something goes bad. Superman like, no, we don't do that. We can't do that. It'll all work itself out. Like, no, Superman, just because you're Superman and you don't have to worry about the shit. You've never been sick a day in your life. We're real people. We have to worry about this shit. Even if this shit don't get me, something will get me eventually.
Yeah.
If I'm human, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, like that was some shit. And Superman, like, well, like, why does Superman never think about that? You know.
Yeah.
Because he's Superman, I guess. So,
and just those times, I love those little how they mix in the superhero shit with the human drama. Like they'll be like Superman and Lois will be fucking arguing. And then she's like, and then he's like, what is it? Oh, there's like an earthquake in China. And she's like, go ahead. And he like in the middle of an argument. He's like,
oh shit. So yeah, love it. Also, definitely watch it.
Awesome show. Hopefully, I got my fingers crossed. Hopefully it doesn't turn to shit.
I hope not, but we'll see. And Bruno Mannheim is an interesting villain also in this show because they're basically saying like he's a gangster, murderer, all the shit like that. Runs, you know, but he's doing it for good.
Yeah,
you know, he's doing it to build up his neighborhood. Yeah, all the guns and shit he's running, all the stuff he's doing it to build up the neighborhood, build hospitals, putting the money back in the hood. I'm
Frank White. Is it Frank?
Yeah,
White?
I'm like, damn.
Frank White, from King of New York. That's what he was.
Yeah.
Doing.
I'm like, so Superman, how can you fight a guy like that? You know,
yeah,
especially a guy that saved your wife's life. I mean, yeah, your wife's life. You know, from the evil he's doing. You know,
yeah. This season's been awesome. Like he's an interesting character. His wife's an interesting character. All that dynamic between the Steele's daughter and the son, and it's just been heavy. Yeah, I've been just like, whoa, this is one of my stories that I got to watch every week.
Yeah, even when because Steele had some awesome moment when he's walked into Bruno Mannheim's house and every gun was like pointing at him and shit like that. He's like, what the fuck you gonna do to me? I like, okay, this shit is awesome right here. I think we talked about Superman and Lois enough. I think the season finale is like I think this week.
Is it this week or next week? I know it's like a couple weeks left. But
I don't know.
I haven't watched last week's episode yet, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna review that and Gotham Knights when they're both in.
I better catch up on Gotham Knights then.
Okay, I'm gonna spoil something for you. Joker's daughter finds out that Joker is not her father.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So yeah.
So she's angry at him. So she can't be angry at him anymore.
No, she's not angry at him. She's angry at her real dad.
Oh,
Harvey Dent.
I was about to say, who is it? The Two-Face?
Yes, because that's what's in the comics. In the comic, her name is Duella Dent. So yeah. So it's a storyline from the comics. They didn't make that shit up for the show. It's in the comics. So yeah. We can move on past that. Okay, like I said, briefly before we move on to the next part, I would just want to briefly touch on some video game shit. Like I said, Eli, my Street Fighter journey has been going pretty well. For the first week, I'm gonna just throw out some combos. However, the second week, I have been getting my ass beat like into the ground. Like there's just some combos I'm doing right now. I'll probably post some of that shit next week. But I realized that I've been playing, beating people, and then I got to like a certain level, like a certain plateau, where the game just said, you've gone too far. And then they just start sending people at me, sending people like whoever that dude was last week that said he's gonna beat the shit out of us on Street Fighter. I'm pretty sure he was on there too, you know. So now I gotta go to the lab. I gotta grind. I gotta figure this shit out because right now I reached.
You gotta learn your frame rates.
I gotta learn frame rates. I thought I knew them, but the game told me you don't. You don't know frame rates. You think you know them, but yeah, we can move past that. Like I said, it's the no, you got something else. You got something else we gotta talk about.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. I got. Oh, there you go. Look at you.
There you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, man. Oh, that's the banner. Oh,
don't worry about it. Rock with it.
Okay.
Rock with it.
And I also have. Let's see.
Okay.
So. It was just announced. This is big news in the comic world. Image Comics, Robert Kirkman. Oops, shit.
Oh, see, you didn't say that. You got to lead with that shit, man.
Yeah,
so Robert Kirkman's going to be writing a Transformer.
I don't know if he's writing it, but I think he's like in charge of it somehow. I think it's
Okay, well now you got me excited. Okay, at first I didn't give a fuck, but you said, "Wait, Robert Kirkman." Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Robert Kirkman, and you know what? Let's share the image. I got the wrong one.
Because technically we're in the comic book section already anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. So Image Comics has basically acquired the rights to G.I. Joe and Transformers. Before this, it was IDW. IDW did a very long, extensive run on Transformers on all the Hasbro. And shout out to Gomer.
Gomer used to do a podcast just on that comic.
Yes. Gomer's a huge Transformers fan. They had Instruments of Destruction. Was that what it's called?
He did this Geeks and Comics separately and Instruments of Destruction separately. He had a separate podcast just for Transformers and G.I. Joe. That was it.
Yeah. And I read some of that stuff. I read some of it. I did read the big crossover because IDW did have like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Micronauts, I think ROM, and Mask, right? Yeah, Mask. And they ended up doing a big, huge crossover event with all of them, you know. And it went on for, Gomer stands by it as one of the best comics of all time. The Transformers, the IDW,
like not Dark Knight Returns, not
Yeah, when we were doing the top 5 pods like during the pandemic. Yeah, like Transformers runs were on his lists and shit. But so anyways, Image has now acquired the rights to Transformers and G.I. Joe, and they are announcing new Transformers books. Transformers is going to be written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson, who I am a huge fan of.
That's your guy right there.
That alone has got me. Not
gonna lie, like that piqued my interest. I'm like, Daniel Warren Johnson on a Transformers book? How would that even look?
Oh,
I'm curious.
Yeah. And he's a huge Transformers fan because I follow him on Instagram. I see he's even got a YouTube channel where he does live streams where he draws and shit. And I've seen some of his custom, art where people, ask him to draw Transformers shit. And he's got a great art style. And as you can see, here's Optimus Prime. But also
that's his Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. So also they're doing G.I. Joe. Joshua Williamson is writing G.I. Joe.
God
So
damn. Does that guy write everything nowadays? Please get
yeah,
somebody else other than Joshua Williamson.
yeah, he's writing. Yeah, he's writing this too.
He's writing half of DC right
Yeah, he's
now.
writing
Plus
all
he
the
has
DC
right
books.
to-
Yeah.
Oh,
So
shit.
they're also doing what is that? What is this now? So Duke #1. So in October they're dropping Transformers #1 by Daniel Warren Johnson. In December they're doing Duke #1, which is G.I. Joe, Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley, and then Cobra Commander #1 drops in January of 2024. And it's going to be, I guess they're going to be it's like a crossover shared universe, G.I. Joe and Transformers. So, which I guess that's what happened in the new movie. I guess they're going to cross over in the movie. But I'm at least sold on the Transformers book because I'll read anything Daniel Warren Johnson does. So that's what I'm
Robert
excited
Kirkman
about.
is writing any of this. I got to pick it up. I got to.
Yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there. Some new comic book news, some stuff that I'm actually excited about that isn't DC and Marvel. So I'm pretty stoked for it. So just your comic news minute.
See, yeah, we do comic news sometimes.
Yeah.
Every now and then,
Yeah.
But here's my thing. I want to know if they're gonna go as hard with Transformers and G.I. Joe as Image did with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because nobody remembers when the Image had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That shit was so fucking bonkers,
What
man.
was that, body count or something?
It
was body count where like it was Casey Jones and Raphael doing like a John Woo style book, and it was all guns and shit. It was like a John Woo. That was back in the 90s.
It may have been at the time. All I know is that they like Donatello got like half his body broken. He became a cyborg. I remember that shit. And Raphael became the Shredder. I don't know how the fuck that shit happened, but yeah, he took over the Foot Clan. I was like, okay. So when Image got like Teenage Mutant got away from Image, they destroyed all the books. The books don't exist no more. Nobody knows about this run. You can't find it anywhere. So I want everybody to Google it. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 3. That's when it went to Image. That's when they wrote all that wild ass shit. And they just really like it never happened, but I need to get my hands on this. If I can find it, I'm gonna get my hands on this shit. So yeah. All right, move on past this or okay. I guess you can't turn Optimus Prime to a cyborg. He basically already is. So yeah. Like I said, this is the Comic Bullies. We're talking about comic books. We're just gonna jump into it. And Eli, I'm gonna let you jump into it, see what you got from there. So
all right. Let's see. Well, I didn't read much.
I didn't either. No. Because I want to talk Flash,
Well, I will do Clobberin Time number 4 or 5.
Yeah, these books are coming out like every week. It seems like, they're coming out fast. Like, damn,
can you see that? That's supposed to be
it's very, very small, but
it's supposed to be a 2-play.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Yeah, you can see that?
In big in.
Yeah. So this is Steve Scroce writing and drawing Clobberin Time, which is just a one-off story about Ben Grimm, the Thing, on this misadventure that he's doing. He's basically after this super villain. He's kind of like Kang. He's going through all the multiverses, collecting weapons and technology, and becoming this super badass villain and trying to destroy the universe or some shit. One of those guys. Each issue, the Thing teams up with another character. He teamed up with Hulk. He teamed up with Wolverine. He teamed up with Doctor Strange. In this issue, he teams up with Doctor Doom. Turns out Doctor Doom got his ass whooped by this super villain. Basically,
he didn't admit to getting his ass whooped by the super villain.
No,
because Doom would never admit to it.
He threw him through a portal out in the outer space. Doctor Doom, and left him out in outer space.
Oh damn!
But Doctor Doom, he had a space station in his pocket with the Pym particles. So
because of course he does.
He just pulls a space station out of his pocket and then grows it back into normal size. So he's out in the space station. And that's where he finds the thing. The thing gets because the same thing happened to the thing. He portaled them out. He meets up with Doctor Doom, and basically Doctor Doom. He tells Doctor Doom what's happening, and so we got to go get this guy. But the whole time Doctor Doom's like fucking with Ben Grimm, got him doing all this work and shit, feeding him all this shitty ass food like Latveria cuisine and shit that Ben hates and shit. And he says, I just want a hamburger. That was funny. He's like, I just want a hamburger. And then when they're trying to go through the port, opening the portal, the thing's running through and he's trying to get to the portal and he passes by Dr. Doom's like dinner table.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom's plate, and Dr. Doom's been eating a cheeseburger. He's like, damn it, Rick. I thought that was funny because Doom was making Ben Grimm eat all these like alien food and shit.
Right, well, he eating like regular ass food. So
yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Anyways, they finally meet this guy. They meet this villain. And it turns out he's basically a super fan. He loves all the superheroes, but he also hates what they've become. I kind of sort of getting that Miguel Into the Spider-Verse vibe where he's a super fan.
Oh, okay. And then things have to play out this way. And
that he's just a super, like maybe it's a comment, a metaphor on toxic fandom. And this guy wants things to be his way, wants the stories to be this way. He's collecting it shows him he's got like the Infinity Gauntlet. He's got Thor's hammer. He's got all these Marvel artifacts and shit that he's been collecting through this multiverse. So
it wasn't the Collector, was it?
No, he's got it. Oh. No, it's another name. He's got another name, but I don't know the art. It's just a crazy book because of the art. So, as you can see, the splash page. So, yeah, this is a 4 out of 5. I think there's only one more. This is the second to last book to be concluded next issue. So this has just been fun. So.
Okay, because they've been running through this book. It's almost like it's been dropping every week. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, it's a 4 out of 5.
All right, cool. All right, so next book I'm going to do. Well, first book I'm going to do. I don't know why I always do that. The first book I'm going to do is Black Panther #1. Now, Eli, you said you kind of read this. Didn't read this?
I tried reading it real quick before we started recording. Then I decided, then I found out I couldn't read this real quick.
It is not a quick read. This is a lengthy book, a lot of meat, a lot of structure into it. So they just throw you into it. This is a new run. Like I said, the last guy, John Ridley, David Ridley, whatever his name was, run sucked. Everybody hated it. I shitted on it. Pretty much anytime I shitted on it, all those videos got pretty good views too, Eli. Like me just shitting on those comics. So yeah. So I'm not gonna just shit on this comic just out of spite. I'm going to review it like normal and just see what I think about it. Like I said, this is written by Eve Ewing. This is, like I said, anytime it's a black superhero, #1, I got to look at who did it. Eve Ewing. She was pretty good. She did Riri's run was pretty good. She is the first black woman no, she is not, to write a Black Panther comic. She is not. I'm sorry about that. Marvel advertised that, but she is not. Well, she's the first one to write the main Black Panther book. I'll put it like that. That's fair to say. From there. So, like I said, this is a new, status quo for T'Challa, for Black Panther. We're just going to jump to it and see where he's at right now. So, let's go to it. And yes, it's a direct continuation from John Ridley's run also. So, we got to go for that. So, now, one thing about this book, now, Eli, I don't know if you noticed from the little bit that you did read from the book, you notice that it's a different type of Wakanda we have here. So, we're still in Wakanda.
It's a city, yeah.
Yeah, but with the burning T'Chaka part of the city of Wakanda. And is it me, Eli? Does it have like a Blade Runner type feel to it?
Well, it definitely, yes. There's a very cyberpunky feel to it. I think they're trying to go for like a Gotham or a New York, but it's Wakanda. So it's going to have that futuristic technology feel to it that Wakanda has, So
right.
it's a futuristic city.
That's the vibe I was getting from it. It felt like they wanted you to feel like it's a futuristic city, but it's still like, Ghost in the Shell or Blade Runner or something like that, that. So anyway, getting to the story. So what they read, so T'Challa is watching over the city of burning T'Chaka now, but burning T'Chaka basically is still in Wakanda, but it's like on the very, very edge of Wakanda. So nobody really cares about Burnt T'Chaka. It's just like a city that's just out there, you know. Meanwhile, you got the royal city that the one we're known for is nowhere near where we're at right now. So anyway, you see this guy, he jumps up, he grabs the bag, he runs off. T'Challa sees him. He's like, okay, I can't let anybody know I'm here, but I'm gonna just stop him real quick and get everybody the bag back. So T'Challa shows up, and I gotta give him credit, Eli. That costume was badass. I'm sorry, it basically urban ninja.
Yeah,
I'm digging it. He got like a spear in the back and shit, like the little kunais in front of him, like he Ryu and Ninja Gaiden. Like I'm loving it. I'm loving it right now. So whoever designed this, kudos to you. That alone,
the art is dope. The art
is dope. Yeah, especially just with this cityscape they have. So yeah. So anyway, T'Challa knocks this guy out, leaves the bag there, and then runs off. So they get there, and it turns out they were basically playing like hide and secret tag. They knew the guy that grabbed the bag. They were basically he was gonna grab the bag and they're gonna chase through the city. It was like a game they were playing. That T'Challa didn't know that, so when he knocked the guy out, he was like, "Oh shit, I don't know this city as well as I thought I did." So he realized he wasn't supposed to have done that. So anyway, so we go past that. So T'Challa, and like I said, you got this whole splash page right here, pretty awesome stuff like that. He's going through the city, so we got to find out let me blow this up so you can see this page right here. I love this panel right here. It's kind of like basically telling us what happened from now to the last issue what happened.
Yeah.
So like I said, T'Challa's still in the Avengers. Still in the Avengers. Matter of fact, he had actually got kicked out of the Avengers in that last run. Like I said, we hated that run. But now he kind of like mended ties with them. So he's back in with them. He's cool with them. He's been traveling over the city. For those that don't know what happened in the last issue, T'Challa has been kicked out of Wakanda. It's part of the agreement he made with Wakanda made with Namor and the Atlanteans. They're like, we have a truce and a treaty treaty. But in order for that peace treaty to happen, you got to kick T'Challa out of Wakanda. That's it. And he can't even be in the country anymore. So the thing is, so if T'Challa's been kicked out of Wakanda, why is he in Wakanda? Because he missed Wakanda. That's why he's back. But he decided to go to the furthest city outside of Wakanda, so nobody knows he's there. And matter of fact, he's kind of like sneaking through the shadows like that. So even though he's there, nobody knows he's there, but he wants people to know he's there, if that makes any sense. So he's doing just enough shit for people to pay attention to it. Is Black Panther in our town? Because Black Panther, like nobody from the royal city comes to this place. It's just them and that's it. So he realized I need to, since I'm no longer king of Wakanda, Wakanda has pretty much done away with the monarchy, so they don't have kings anymore. He's not even part of the government anymore. He has no say so. He's not even allowed in the city. So he basically like, I'm just another lowly person in Wakanda. I need to put boots on the ground and find out about my city. What is Wakanda without a king? What is a king without Wakanda? And I like where they're going with this. So he like, I need to become a man of the city because I've never I'm a part of Wakanda, but I've never been a part of Wakanda.
Yeah, the lower class. He's been a royal.
Yeah.
Now he's going to the street level.
Right.
Street level Black Panther.
Street level Black Panther. That's what it is. Street level Black Panther. That's where they're going with this. So I dig it. I'm with it. Now keep in mind they said even though Burnt T'Chaka is one of the poorest cities in Wakanda, they're still richer than any city in America. That's what they're saying. So yeah, we're doing bad, but we're not doing that bad. Like there is no homeless problem in Burnt T'Chaka. There is no homeless people. It's just that people don't have an abundance of what they have. Like
these hover buses sure are crowded.
Right. It's like that. So yeah. And like a lady might walk down the street, there are no street lights. So when she's not paying attention, T'Challa will like set street lights in the city to help her down. She's like, okay, so she knows somebody's looking out for her. He's like a guardian angel because he can't be seen because people know he's there. He's gonna be a problem. So then we got this guy who's like half of the book is about. I think his name is Niobe. Niobe, that's his name. So he's a lawyer. He's a guy. He's there. T'Challa say he's been tracking this guy all the time, and half the book kind of becomes his book. Also, they really want you to follow this guy for some reason, and he's talking stuff like that, and he's like, okay, people coming after him, and then who walks up on him is the War Dogs. Now, for those who read the last issue, the War Dogs almost caused a civil war in Wakanda. So not only has Black Panther been kicked out of the royal city, so have the War Dogs. The War Dogs are no longer part of the Royal Council. What they do, they're a mob now. They just go around just shaking down people, you know. So they're like, we're just gonna shake down people, we're gonna take money. And T'Challa sees them doing that, the people that used to work for him, and he just jumps out, kicks one of them in the face, shit like that. He's like, I see what you've been doing. So it is true. So basically the War Dog's like a mob going around, harassing people. And so they get into a fight. But we're gonna cut away from that because we don't want to look at Black Panther beating ass. No, we're gonna go back to this guy in Yobi, just walking around and shit. We're just gonna go to him for some reason. So is
this the Batman book we thought we?
You're right.
What a Batman could do a lot more good if as Bruce Wayne. Is this the comic?
Let's go through this guy right here. So, like I said, he's a lawyer. He's basically taking case for people pro bono. Does do a lot of work and stuff like that. And they just go to this guy for some reason. Like the story is just about him. It's
like exposition through this character, yeah.
And this is when the book slows down for me because I'm all in with Black Panther, find out about Black Panther. But when they cut to this guy, and it's just all about this guy, it's like, okay, he goes in, and for some reason he goes into this library, and this chick in the background is like in love with him for some reason, like hearts everywhere. He like for no reason. They don't say her name, don't say who he is. She's just in love with him for some reason, Cut back to him anyway. He's dodging because like he owes people money.
I thought that's interesting panel, like how they just.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna write like the Nightwing book, kind of like
that.
Yeah, kind of like that. I like it when it's when you use comic as a medium.
Yeah, the use of panels and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, it's clever. I give him credit on that. Like I said, and like I said, people owe him money. So again, and this started reminding me of like Blade Runner and Cyberpunk because this is a cyborg right here. Like she's got like an arm or some shit, like a metal arm and metal chins like that. You owe me money. That's what the child is like. You ain't doing that. Get the fuck up out of here. And starts beating the shit out of him. Like, who do you work for? Where did you come from? And then and Yobi just like, nah, let it go. Don't worry about it. We know who she works for. Everybody know who she works for. She just leaves. They walk inside. And they basically starts talking. And he's just like, look, man, I appreciate you helping me. But you run around in a Black Panther costume, you're going to get in trouble with the people for your cosplaying right now because you're not allowed to wear the Black Panther costume unless you actually, a part of the royal family. So he thinks he's just a cosplayer, just running around just beating people up and shit like that. Then he takes mad stuff. He's like, oh, shit. It's actually T'Challa, breaks the glass like that. He's like, oh, your highness, all this stuff like that. So he meant that. He's like, stand up. I need your help. So basically what he's trying to do, the reason he's here is because apparently he knows this guy. He shows him like a baby picture of when they were together. So they're about the same age and stuff like that. And he says, the reason I know you because I knew your father. Your father was like advisor to the royal family. And his father's name was Shangra Meyer. And I didn't look it up, but I think that's the same guy that wasn't in the last run, but the run before the last run. I think he was that guy. He was like an old guy, had like white dreads and shit like that, I think it was Monda's like new boyfriend and some shit like that, whatever he was. But yeah. And basically like, look, you're the only person I even kind of know here in Burn T'Chaka. I need to connect with the people and maybe you can help me out, and that's what's going on right there. So, but then they get a knock on the door and he's just like, I got to get out of here before because nobody can know T'Challa is in this city or even Wakanda at all. So he, darts out the window and shit like that, like Batman, and that's when he walks in and this chick walks in, this bug lady, cat woman type chick,
Electra,
just walks in.
Chick, yeah.
Electra, whatever, some shit like that. She's like, oh, I didn't know you were here. Since I came in here and I thought you were here, I won't kill you. But I'm gonna just take the shit I need to go and I'm gonna just leave. So as long as you don't do anything, I won't fuck you up, But just in case, she like throws a dart at him to let him know, don't tell anybody I was here or I will be back, And then she Catwoman, Electra, femme fatale, her ways out of the building also. So yeah. All right. So T'Challa's just darting through the city and stuff like that. And he's basically trying to get known to the city and like, who am I among you, my people? It's like that. Meanwhile, we cut to the real bad guys. Well, I forgot the name of the bad guys. They were mentioned all throughout the book, but the main thing is they're up to some bad guy shit right now. And they have a deathlock.
Yeah.
To be continued. So yeah. Yeah. I guess that's the book. So I don't know if that is the Deathlock or a Deathlock or one of that. Cause remember, I don't know if you read that Avengers book, but it was like 1,000,000 Deathlocks just running around all through the multiverse and shit. So I don't know where this guy came from, but they got a Deathlock. So yeah. So honestly, I thought it was a cool story. It is a palate cleanser from what we had before. It was definitely not worse than we had before. People are complaining about this one. My only complaint is that we're spending way too much time about that one guy who I don't care about. But I do like the interesting story of T'Challa trying to basically put boots on the ground, and get back to his roots. I like that story.
Yeah, that seems interesting. Him going back to basics, going to street level. Yeah. I do like that dynamic of the upper class.
Now, some people are upset about that. Like I said, hardcore Black Panther. Like I said, Black Panther's been getting his ass whooped for the last 2 runs. So they basically want him to be a king again and royalty and base back status quo like that. I'm like, give it time. Because the thing is, what I like what Eve Ewing did at the very end of the book, she was like, don't worry, I have something planned for our once and future king. So she's going to put the toys back in the toy box. She's going to put everything back the way it was. Let her tell her story right now. Let's see where this goes. Let's stop shooting everything down before we get there.
I mean, it seems interesting that he would get the support of all the people, of the poor community to support, him as a leader, and him going to the city and learning about it, learning how, the lower class lives. It sounds like an interesting story.
Yeah. And plus we're seeing a different Wakanda. Like we've already seen Wakanda drawn this way, that way, that way. This isn't that. This is like Blade Runner, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Black Panther going through a steel, Cyberpunk type, Blade Runner type. It almost feels like? It feels like Black Panther 2099. That's what it feels like. Like it's like Black Panther in the future. But I can dig with that. I can deal with that. So if this is the type of story she's trying to tell, I'm on board. Just cut out that lawyer. I don't give a fuck about the lawyer. Unless you do something to make him interesting, I don't care.
He's going to be the Alfred or some shit.
Yeah, some shit. Do something interesting with him other than just have him just walk around,
Yeah. So. I didn't finish this. Like I said, I was trying to read it before we started recording, but once it got to that middle section where it was just
with that guy, this would start losing me. I was having fun and now you're losing me.
It was super wordy. It was super just condensed with all this information. And I'm not sure when I saw the cover, I'm like, Al Ewing is writing a Black Panther.
The voice of the Black people, of course, Al Ewing from England.
Okay. He wrote a cool Immortal Hulk. Let me give it. I'm like, sure, I'll give it a whirl. But then, Eve Ewing. Now, I haven't read her other stuff. I haven't read the Riri Williams stuff she's writing.
Yeah, she did Riri Williams and she did the Champions also. So she did. Champions pretty good also. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, but it just seems like, I mean, is she trying to cram like the whole coach run where it was like a lot of great ideas, but transferring those ideas into comic book form.
Here's my thing though.
Is a little rough.
Right. But here's my thing though. From the other stuff I read for Ewing, she doesn't write like this.
Okay.
She doesn't do all that wordy, self-analyzation. It's almost like she's trying to copy the Black Panther other runs before her because that's what came before her. So like I'm gonna copy Coach style and copy Ridley style from there instead of just doing what she done because her other runs weren't like this. This one like what is she doing? This ain't
this got to like okay, I got to record, so Leroy will let me know how this ends. But
all I'm saying is that she's done better work than this, and I actually like this story, but she's done a better work for this. Yeah. I think when her run gets going, because I have faith in her, I think people are going to come on board on this run because the framing of what we look for, like the framing, the scheduling, the blueprint of what we have right here, I think is interesting.
Yeah,
a lot more interesting than what we've had in the last few runs.
Yeah, the art is cool. Yeah, the art is great, and I like the concept. I like the idea. It's just the pacing of this issue felt a little crammed for me. And
it's weird coming from her because she doesn't write like that. Okay. That's what got me on that. So.
Yeah, but
I'm putting it out there. I'm gonna put my stamp. Stick with it for a while. I promise you. I think the book will get better.
Deathlock. Hey, I'm intrigued with Deathlock. So
right, you can't go wrong with it. You put a killer cyborg in any book, it sells. That's that's easy,
cool.
you know.
That's cool.
Yeah, like peanut butter and jelly shit, you know. All right, so so what book you in next?
What's your score?
Ooh, I was trying to dodge it for you. Ask me the question. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. I wanted to give it higher, but she spent so much time with that dude I don't give a shit about. I had to knock it down.
Yeah, it's just like he was like I said, he was like the exposition character.
Yeah,
like let's follow this guy, like because T'Challa was following him,
right.
And
like I said, it became that guy's story.
And so, he's like, it's like, okay, this guy is he knows everybody. He's trying to help the people. He's trying to help he's got all these causes, and he's sort of
even when the kids were playing soccer and they kick soccer ball over to him and he kick it back to him. But then when T'Challa goes to his house, you see like a soccer trophy in his house and shit, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
so it's like this guy is in. I get that T'Challa's inspired by this guy,
right?
You know,
because that guy is a man of the people.
Yeah, it just
okay. You just broke it down. I think we should go. This guy is going to teach T'Challa how to be a Wakandan. Yeah,
that's what I was getting at. It just got a little long.
Like get to the point, you know.
For number one. I remember this is a number one issue,
right?
You know,
and so number one, but it's not really number one. You got to know this shit that came before this to catch on what's going on with this book. So
so
you know, like why is T'Challa in Cyberpunk 2099? You know,
I mean that was cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that there's a Wakandan city.
Yeah, which they've never shown that before. So I like that's a cool.
Where we see the kingdom. You know, we never see the city. You know,
because my thing was like, okay, so you kick T'Challa out of Wakanda. Why don't you put him in New York? You know, have him, but you can't. But they've already told that story.
And then he's gonna run into Daredevil or some shit.
Yeah, you know, Spider-Man, all this shit like that. Like, do we really want that? You know, I say I want that, but I don't want that. But have him in the cyberpunk Wakanda. Okay, I actually because it's a more vibrant city than that. And plus you have room to create a new city to do whatever you want to with it. You can do like Metropolis and Gotham City with this city.
Yeah.
So
and you can do whatever you want. You're not trapped in the Marvel verse. You know.
You got to worry about running to Captain America, no shit.
Yeah.
You know. So
that's cool.
So
kind of reminded me of that whole was it Tinian where Batman bought the block. He was living in.
It's okay. I'm glad you said that.
Batman was slumming it but he owned the whole block and shit.
Right. He's not as rich as he was, but still richer than everybody else. So it's very much like that. It reminded me of that because a lot of that does feel like okay. So you're basically making T'Challa Batman. So
yeah. Was it the Aquaman run that I was reading a few years ago, where same thing happened? He lost the kingdom, and then he went down into the trenches, into the lower depths of the ocean, and you know to the you know the poor fish people,
right?
The poor fish
because they always look at his realty above them.
But no, I'm intrigued. You know, I'd like to finish it. You know, and give it a good, you know, my undivided attention. Trying to rush it. Oh, I'll read this real quick. Comixology, man. It did not pop up again. Like I'm missing new books. You know, whenever I go to my Comixology.
Now the thing is, you know, with Comixology, well, Black Panther, this isn't one of their top sellers. Like, you know, they ranked their top sellers of what they were. Black Panther was kind of under there, so this isn't one of the top sellers of the week. So
because like the new books, when I search the new books this week, half of them are like coming out next week.
Yeah,
and then I don't see that. Yeah. I didn't see this. So I didn't see this until like right before we started recording. Whoa, there's a new Black Panther. Okay. Al Ewing. Yeah. Okay.
Because the days of Black Panther selling 300,000 copies out the gate, that's done. Those days are over with. So
yeah. So all right. I guess the only other book I got was did you read Green Lantern?
I did. Nah.
Oh, I did actually.
Did you? Okay.
But I'm not
thought about it. I was like, Hal Jordan do more Hal Jordan.
I figured you would read it, so that's why I did it.
Because I don't like Hal Jordan. That's why I didn't read it. If it was anybody else, I might have picked it up. You know.
Okay. I'll do Wolverine number 34. This might be my book of the week.
That cover, I was like, okay, that cover caught my attention. I like.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm so far out of this Wolverine run arc. I don't want to just jump into it. Don't know what the hell going on. So
Yeah.
But that cover, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that cover bad.
The art in this book is dope.
Yeah.
So we're still, this whole fighting Beast, evil Hank McCoy. Hank McCoy is basically gone rogue. He's cloned himself. He's, the whole Krakoan resurrection program. He's kind of, sabotaged it. He has a bunch of Wolverine clones, an army of Wolverine clones, and he has this big giant, what was that Krakoan plant guy thing? That
Krakoa?
Yeah, that. Well, anyway, he's in that under the water, under the ocean. He's in that's what that big skeleton thing is on the cover.
Yeah.
He's in that. That's his base.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and then it says something like the weapons of X or something it was called.
Yeah, that's his what he calls his army of Wolverines. Beast has an army of Wolverine clones. So basically, it starts out. Wolverine and Maverick are looking. They're in the North Atlantic looking for Beast's base, and they basically find it. There's a big fight between Wolverine clones and Wolverine and Maverick, and then the big giant skeleton plant thing comes out of the ocean. There's a big battle, but they end up escaping. And also the U.S. military comes and starts attacking everybody. Oh shit, mutants are doing shit in the Atlantic. Let's go kill them. It dawned on me while I'm reading this, why does the U.S. military still exist with all these superheroes running around?
Yeah, they don't do anything. The police or anything. They just get
fucked up. I'm like, do armies even work anymore if you got a world of superheroes and mutants and shit and
right.
Hydra, Shield and all.
Right, and every country has their own superheroes and shit.
Yeah, what's the point of U.S. military? Anyway, they come and they all take off. They go to Maverick's base in Norway. They're all chilling and shit, eating. A Wolverine clone shows up and basically gives Wolverine a message and says, "Hey, Hank McCoy wants to have a dinner date. Let's have some dinner. Let's discuss this shit." So Wolverine goes and meets up with Beast for dinner to discuss what they've been doing. And it turns out, what's that guy's name? I forget the guy's name. Wolverine's buddy that Beast killed, and that's why Wolverine's trying to kill him and shit. He says, "I still got that guy. He's alive. You can have him. I just want my Wolverine clones back." So Wolverine and Maverick took a couple of clones in that battle, and they got him chained up in a cell. As you will trade. I'll give you your friend back. You give me my Wolverine clones back because they're very expensive to make, and I like them back. And I just want to say this scene kind of grosses me out. I'll try to zoom in again. Beast is eating lobster and mussels and shit, and it's just fucking nasty. Look at this shit. Just gross.
I eat it like a beast. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with my food, that shit grosses me out when people eat food all fucking sloppy and shit.
Right.
I thought this was pretty gross. And is it me or does Wolverine look like Ron Perlman here?
I don't see it, but
kind of, sort of. I thought he looked
kind of see it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he looked like Ron Perlman.
I kind of see it. Okay.
Yeah. So, so basically, the Beast goes, "Okay, well, I'm going to arrange a meeting. We could kill each other like animals, because, Wolverine and Beast, they've struggled with their beast sides and their humanities. We could kill each other, but, we're civilized. We could be civilized. So I'll arrange the meeting. You bring my clones. I'll bring your buddy." Well, it turns out Wolverine goes back to the base. Maverick's got those Wolverine clones. It turns out that the Wolverine clones are starting to get smarter. So when Beast cloned these Wolverine clones, he made them dumb.
So he can easy to control them.
Yeah, and he made them so they're just running on their animalistic nature. But it turns out Maverick said, "Hey, it turns out that their healing factor is starting to heal their brain. So they're starting to get smarter.
Oh, wow.
So they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to go meet Beast Dad. So they're, so we can teach these guys now because they're starting to learn. So that's where it says to be continued. So I thought this was cool. This is a 4 out of 5. This is probably my book of the week. I didn't read much, but I really enjoyed this issue.
So cool. All right. Last book I'm going to do, and only reason I read this book is because there was nothing else to read. I don't give a shit about Hal Jordan. So yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna do Amazing Spider-Man 27. So why am I doing this book? Because I know everybody was upset because of last issue. Kamala Khan dies. Somebody got on me about screwing her name up. Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, died, and this is the aftermath of that issue.
What did you call it?
Yeah.
Carmela? Did you call her
Carmela? Camila?
Camila?
I don't know. I fucked it. Whatever it was, I fucked it up. But yeah. All right. So let's go to it. Now they fighting Dr. Doom. Miss Marvel's dead. Let's fight Dr. Octopus. So yeah, let's do that. All right. So they are. Okay. So Black Cat and Spider-Man, just like Mary Jane has got her own boyfriend. Spider-Man's back with Black Cat, and they're basically hunting after the Shocker, because basically Black Cat says that Spider-Man needs to take his mind off what's going on, so he needs like an easy warm up, to get his mind off of it. So the Shocker is easy. Anybody can beat the shit out of him. So yeah, they're like, okay, Herman, stop fighting Herman. They're like, no, quit calling me that shit. I'm the Shocker. I'm a real villain. So they blast them, and Black Cat is just like, don't hurt him, Herman. You're like, go easy on him because he's having a bad day. Don't kill my boyfriend. You're like, what? Because it turns out that Black Cat knew Shocker was going to rob this bank, and she told Spider-Man was going to do it. So she set the whole thing up on purpose. So while they're swinging and stuff like that, Black Cat did some shit where she took off his gauntlets when he wasn't paying attention. So now he's just like, I'm going to kill you. He's like, you're going to die. But when he said you're going to die, that's when he triggered Spider-Man. He was like, no, nobody's going to die. You just beat shit out of him, one shot him, take Shocker out, and then that's it. And just calls, who's he called? Nick Fury? Oh, Norman Osborn. He like, get this guy, get the fuck up out of here. And Spider-Man leaves. Because he's still basically upset about that. So yeah, Norman Osborn is upset about it also. We'll find out why he's upset about it later on. His side story, I don't care. So Peter's back at home, and he, crying, upset. I'll let you die. He's holding Miss Marvel's mask, and if you notice up top, also a picture of Uncle Ben. That's done on purpose. All that guilt is coming in at him at the same time. So he falls asleep. He said, "Don't worry."
This ain't Romita, is it?
Hell no.
Junior.
No, Junior, not Junior. No, this is Ed McGuinness. Ed McGuinness did this. It's too good to be your John Romita. All right. So then, while he sleep, Dr. Octopus' arms sneak in the room while he sleep, and turns out they pull the covers up over him.
Aw.
And then leave. So like, what the fuck? So it turns out Dr. Octopus' arms are activated on by themselves. And this isn't the first time they happened. This happened like another run also. Well, another issue with this happened. And Dr. Octopus finds his arms basically have a sentience, like conscious onto themselves. They're in love with Peter Parker for some reason.
Okay.
Let me explain. It goes back to when Dr. Octopus put his brain in Peter Parker, became the superior Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah.
So apparently that those arms were the ones that attached to superior Spider-Man, and apparently they got attached, emotionally to Spider-Man. They don't want to go back to Dr. Octopus. So Dr. Octopus made some new arms to kidnap his old arms. So yeah, that's going on. So he's punishing and torturing his old arms, but choosing Spider-Man over him. So he has a new set of arms, and his new set of arms look like actual octopus arms now. Pretty cool design. I kind of like that. And they can detach themselves now and go about themselves, and they attach to the old set of arms. Cool. Yeah, and destroy the old arms. So yeah, that's going on with that one. And meanwhile, Dr. Octopus, Peter sees Norman Osborn. He's like, I just want to talk to you, see how you doing after Miss Marvel died. And Norman just like, I guess you came here to blame it on me because she joined my company to see if I was still evil, and I didn't know it was her. So I'm the reason for all. He's like, no, I didn't mean to do that. I'm just here to make sure. Are you okay to see if you don't, turn the Kree guy and start killing people? You're like, oh, okay. No, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm a good guy now. I'm not gonna do that. My goblin days are behind me, and that's it. It is what it is, Meanwhile, some supervillain gets free. I don't care. Go past that. And meanwhile, J. Jonah Jameson he's being blasted in the news by a rival news reporter, and they're looking at this, and he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he gets a knock on the door, and the knock on the door is Dr. Octopus' old arms that have been destroyed. Yeah. And Jamie was on the phone like, I'm gonna call you back. The end. So very weird story. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. It's just it is what it is.
And you didn't read Green Lantern, huh?
And I didn't read Green Lantern. I picked this up and I was like, what the fuck? This I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? Okay, Dr. Octopus' arms are in love with Spider-Man. Okay, but yeah. That's a thing that happened. So yeah. Yeah, let me see. You got anything else?
Score? You got a score?
3 out of 5. This was the definition of filler. But like I said, at least John Romita Jr. went on the book, so it gets a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. So yeah. Let me see. Anything else we got to add? Or
well, the only other book I read was Green Lantern, but that was just a setup for this night terror.
Night Vision terror. Oh, yeah. So he's gonna be in that also.
Yeah, okay. A bunch of monsters showed up at the end. Now the night terrors or something.
Okay, so what's the deal about is Kilowog on Earth also?
Oh yeah, he was there drinking Mountain Dew, which I guess nobody. What's up with y'all not liking Mountain Dew? Is this just people?
I don't hate Mountain Dew.
Oh,
I hate everything, and I don't hate Mountain Dew.
Yeah, Gomer said he don't like Mountain Dew or whatever.
You know why I like Mountain Dew, right? Halo.
Oh,
because when Halo came out, and they just like they
had all the flavors.
They had all the flavors. They call it game fuel, that shit right there. And you had all like, if you buy this Mountain Dew, you get like this free gun from Halo, shit like that. So I just started just buying every flavor of Code Red of game fuel. I just drink that shit all the time. I'm just eating Halo. And I'm like, you know what? I drunk so much of it. I was like, you know what? I kind of like Mountain Dew. You know what? I'm gonna get some Mountain Dew after this podcast. Now you got me thinking about it. So
I drink that all the time. That's like one of my shits I drink.
Microsoft, bring back game fuel. We know you don't like Halo anymore, but bring back game fuel. We like this shit.
But I guess Kilowog don't like Mountain Dew either or whatever.
Well, no. Now, from what I read, it didn't say he didn't like Mountain Dew. He just said it just tasted like scum water. But maybe on his planet, scum water tastes good. Maybe,
this dew of the mountain or whatever.
Right. So, okay. So, like I said, this is another epic one, even though we didn't have a whole lot of topics, but it is what it is.
You did a review of a major comic book movie. So,
so I guess I had to take some time on that. So, yeah. Next week, we'll talk about some other shit. I don't know. Something will happen. I don't know. We'll figure out what's going on. I will actually post the video of me getting my ass beat on Street Fighter next week. How about that? So I didn't want to do it this week because I was like,
I was so tempted to buy Diablo, but I'm like $70, and that game is so long. It's like
that's what I'm saying. Like my pocket's still hurting from this $100 for Street Fighter, so I can't. my gaming budget is done right now. So,
yeah.
So. All right, but on Street Fighter, I did play with that Lily chick though.
Okay, is that the native chick?
The native chick, yeah.
Okay,
she got some stuff on there. I'm like, okay, I might upload some videos on her.
Wasn't she on the last one? 5?
No, she's new. She's new.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, but maybe check out this Geeksy comic. We talk about Gomer all the time, but definitely check out Geeksy comic.
They're probably going to go into that Transformer shit way deeper.
Way deeper than us, yeah. We just briefly mentioned it. Gomer, just go ahead and start up Instruments Destruction again. You know you want to do it. Start it up. So that because otherwise you're going to take over this Geeksy Comics with Transformers talk even more than you already are. So was it David?
Yeah, was it David?
And AKA David, go ahead, start this. Yeah. No, it was just them. Just them.
Yeah.
2 hours on one Transformer comic. They were worse than Get Valiant. So y'all go ahead, crank that shit back up, and just go with it. Just go for it. I'll listen to it. If y'all start it up, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna let you know. So yeah.
There you go.
All right. So that being said, join us next week. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time.